pick me up when you're done? We can go do the laundry?
Welcome back, Team UWC. It's your boy TWP Popcorn, back with another video. Y'all know how we gonna do. We gonna sit here, chill, ride it out. Boom. Let's go to the theater mode. Show y'all how I'm gonna put together this new intro. I'm clipping up, getting right.
Come on, man. Hang on for me. I got my phone there. Come on. What you said, I'll stay but then I gotta be going.
I understand. If y'all can't watch more than 10 minutes of the video, I understand. Because when I look at my analytics, that's where it say y'all let. Anyways, TWC, y'all know what time it is. 6 p.m. Wednesday, 10 a.m. Saturday, Sunday. What we gonna do? We're gonna do exactly what Smoke a Lot do. We're gonna open up like, what?
Like I was Barbara Wolf. That's ridiculous. He told me about his lawyer. He had sex with my mama. Wow. Spirituality. If you get it, damn, it's bad back. I can see that in the backyard. Love life. I love it, man. Tell me with you. I mean, talk about a guy with an house.
Anyways, you know, we're gonna go over here to this, because guess what? We got a new intro for y'all. It's the same intro, but it's new. For those who know, you know. Let's get into it, though. Get into this video.
This is the nice guy was blowing up. He got customers from all over New York. He just go to people saying, oh, what's up, man? Come on in, Mike. Come on, Mike. Nice baby.
He said, come on, Mike. Come on in here, Mike. Come on in here, Mike. Welcome to the Trap House. Y'all know how we do TWC and TWP Popcorn.
Sean Cooley,
How is Sean spelled?
SHAWN.
Thank you.
And Mr. Cooley, are you currently employed?
No, sir, I'm retired from the sheriff's office.
When did you retire from the sheriff's office?
I originally retired in 2014. The sheriff, then Kimmy Rogers, asked me to come back a couple times. So eventually I did, and I worked up until about 2 months ago.
So up until 2 months ago, you were back as a deputy sheriff?
Yeah, I started out as a part-time deputy, and then as their manpower dropped, I went ahead and took a full-time position to help them for a while.
And that's here in Adams County, correct?
Yes, sir, it is.
When did you begin with the sheriff's department? Sheriff's office?
It would have been late 80s, early 90s.
Okay, long time ago.
Long time ago, yes.
Do you have family here in Adams County?
Yes, sir, I do.
How long have you lived in Adams County?
Over 40 years.
And one of your family members is Justin,
Yes, sir, that's my youngest son.
and he's another plaintiff in this case.
Yes, sir, yes.
You worked with him for a while in the Adams County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, I did. Most of the time we were different shifts.
Okay, but I meant you worked
Yeah,
for the same sheriff's department for a while.
Absolutely, yes.
Are you married?
Yes, sir, I am.
What up, Tim? Good to see you. How you doing? Lawless, see you in the chat too. How you
Did you go to
doing?
school here in Adams County?
Yes, sir, they did.
Sean, do you remember giving me a call back in late 2022?
Your Honor, I'm going to object here. I do believe he's moving the realm of attorney-client privilege and opening that. If he opens that door, we do intend to exploit it. And so we would just give the court notice that's what we believe is happening at this time.
Thank you for the heads up. Sure goes.
Thank you, Judge. Let me ask the question this way. Were you looking for an attorney in the fall of 2022?
Yes, sir, we all were.
And just in a nutshell, what were you trying to accomplish by contacting a lawyer?
The posts and the things that were put on the internet about us as far as us being thieves and different things with our image. We had went to the sheriff when this originally started. Mr. Foreman had an attorney. Well, he's had two attorneys prior to this one. We had the sheriff contacted, try to get it stopped. Then again with the next one, then again with this one. So the alternative was to try to file some kind of suit.
And that's why you ultimately decided to file suit to get it to stop?
Yeah, that was our last alternative.
Has it stopped?
That's gotten much worse.
You were part of the team that executed the warrant on Mr. Foreman's property?
Yes, sir, I was.
Did you steal any money?
No, I did not.
Did you have anything to do with the money that evening?
The only thing I had to do with the money, I sat in the kitchen and talked to Mr. Foreman's wife.
Mr. Foreman's wife, Angela?
Yes.
Now, let me just stop you
Or
there.
ex-wife.
Oh, thank you. Ex-wife, let me stop you there for just a second. How did Angela Foreman end up being in the kitchen of the home that evening?
I don't know which supervisor it was. The letter came in.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to this line of questioning. If the search warrant is not going to be an issue, if we want to open that door, then I will ask to present that evidence and make that case. But Mr. Klingler now wants to bring up who everybody is there. So if he wants to open that door, I'm going to ask for the same latitude upon my presentation of the case. And I think the court has already made it clear we are not litigating a search warrant.
I'll withdraw the question. I don't need to know how she got there, Judge.
Just for everybody's benefits, they both pushed beyond what I was willing to do, so let's try to keep it focused.
What up, Beat After Beat? Good to see you. How you doing? I'm gonna go check out Beat After Beat 10-second videos. And he's got a music shop that he's opening back up. I'm gonna go support y'all, boy. Hit his cash up, whatever the fuck you gonna do.
Brought in a package.
Appreciate seeing you, though.
Contained money, laid it there, and asked me to keep an eye on it.
Okay.
And
Who was in the kitchen? Sorry, who was in the kitchen with you?
Mr. Foreman's wife,
Okay.
or ex-wife, I'm not sure.
Just the
what
two of you
status is.
at the time?
So there was people in and out.
Other deputies?
Other deputies coming in and out, going back and forth to their cars to, to get different items. I think Sergeant Walters came in at one time and talked to Mr. Foreman on the cell phone.
Okay. So, back to the cash. You were asked by Detective Newland to keep an eye on it, and what happened then?
Well, that's what I did, and then a short time later, Mr. Newland came and got it and submitted it somewhere.
And that was the extent of your...
Yeah, I never touched the money, never was even really close to it.
All right. Now, you mentioned earlier your reason for contacting a lawyer in this case. I want to just jump ahead right now to how these posts that referred to you and the other deputies as thieves, has that affected your reputation in the community, do you believe?
Absolutely, there's no doubt it is.
Well, tell us what makes you think that.
You know, to understand that, you got to go back before this happened. We would go on calls. You very seldom ever have any trouble on anybody. Very, very rarely. You might get a drunk that would smart off or something of this nature. Then he starts calling us thieves on the internet, starts selling merchandise as our photo on it. So now when you go into a bar for a call, you've got people in there screaming, hey, you gonna steal all of our money, you know, or you go on a call. I had one guy come out of a bedroom after me, call me a thief, wanted to know why I sold after a man's money. It just went from being a nice, quiet community, a job you felt safe in, to a place where you had to look over your shoulder every second.
Do you, based on what you've explained and what you've been through, do you think some of these people who called you thieves really thought you were?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Did you receive any phone calls about this?
I would answer the phone at the sheriff's department because they were overwhelmed. I remember one day there was over 300 calls threatening us, calling us thieves. So we would have to go over and help dispatch because they were overwhelmed. There's only 2 dispatchers. So yeah, they didn't call me directly, but I answered the phone. They would cuss me, threaten to kill me, threaten to kill my kids, threaten to kill my wife. And it got to the point to where my wife and my children couldn't even go to Walmart. We couldn't go into a gas station around here. My youngest daughter would hear the dogs bark at night and come in my room, wake me up terrified that somebody was there to kill us. Because even though they were young, they're still on Facebook. They still see this stuff. And it was just one after another. And when it would start to slow down, he would go back and do it all over again and get it all stirred again. Just like he did a couple days ago.
Are you aware of posts that are continuing to come out as recently as yesterday?
Some I are.
I'm going to put my objection in place here. It'll take a second. So Ohio law has changed since April of 2025. More protection. Staying under the anti-smuggling state. With that, we would have.
What up, Bronze? Good to see you. How you doing? Appreciate you hitting that thumbs up. Y'all know to go check out Bronze. Great content over on his channel. Appreciate you stopping by and saying hi. Kicking it with that guy.
Thank you, Judge. Yep. Are there any other examples that you can think of as you sit here today of ways that these posts about being a thief have affected you in a negative way?
One of the things that really kind of upset me, I was doing an investigation as a detective, and I had to go all the way up to eastern Ohio on the Pennsylvania border. And when I walked into the deputy's room up there to talk to them, they all knew me, all knew that I'd been called a thief, lemon pound cake. You know, it's everywhere. You can go anywhere, and if people recognize you, they start that stuff, whether they're being sarcastic or what. But
And has your image, your face been posted on some of these posts along with, or in the context of thief accusation?
well, according to he has posted my image, yes, several times on the internet. He sold merchandise sweatshirts, t-shirts, things of that nature at all of his venues. Matter of fact, they were for sale at a smoke shop here in town.
Okay. Those are all of my questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
May I ask why none of you guys are wearing a lift belt? Oh, we don't usually have what you're doing. You go to the equipment room, you get lift belts and gloves. You use it. Excuse me. I think this belongs to you. Where did you find it? I need to talk to your manager. I waltzed through security with someone else's ID. Nobody gives me a second look.
Who are you exactly?
Herman Trout, security consultant.
This should be better. I'm going to harvest the soil, so I'm taking down the tangy sourdough. What do you think?
Put that side fire in the hole.
I keep drinking bubble tea. Because I like tapioca, but it's nothing like tapioca. I'm still torn. Just find a good thing to cut it down with. It's a little thick. These are not plant scissors. Oh, we can't use that. Where's my trimmers? There we go. Got it. It's a little early, but I'm perfectly happy.
Pretty defoliated from the looks of it, which is good though, because
How do they usually pose?
yeah, you don't need a lot of the leaves to dry and cure. So
I'll probably do some light trimming over my trim tray here. Just a little bit. Lightly trimmed, I guess, or medium trimmed. These back, try to put the plant up here. Okay. Aside for a sec. Hang the rest of the tent and turn the tent back on. They probably won't be here for long, but it's just here for the moment. See, I've got it staked right here because this whole thing grows way off to the side. That'll help. That's it for right now until we go downstairs. That's pretty. I'm really proud of this one. Thanks Tylo G for the seeds. I don't know the company and I don't know if I have packaging to be able to go find it. But if I do come across that packaging, I'll come back and tell you where these tangies came from, like the actual company. And next time I see you, we'll be doing something completely different because things are changing fast. So I took the one down.
he over here taxing that shorts cheat code though.
Get a
Yeah,
closer
produce a
look
lot
at
of
it after
content
I
that's short and quick, easy and
trim
fast. Hell, in and out.
Put it in jars. This one was hanging in the tent all day. Just took it out to put it in here. It's pretty humid up in this office, And then it's dark and cool as well in that closet, so I think that'll be a perfect place to cure probably the entire cure. Ready? Ta-da! No more including buds. Oh, this is a tomato. Maybe I'll just keep it here until I need it. I have to find stakes for the plants downstairs and up here. Here's one stake. Just use that right away. Alright, nope, you don't need a paint. You're better than that. No paint stirrer for you. But this I can move down to the downstairs tent with the other tomatoes. I don't have to leave them up here with these. Now that I can actually see what's going on in here beyond those buds, I'm taking soil out of this one.
Yep.
To put into that one. Sorry, tomato, I'm gonna steal some of this. I'm gonna bury it too, though. Chop up those leaves, mix them in, but I threw away a whole bunch of them. That didn't take long. I just watered this morning, and they're all very light. This morning, this box looked full, and now it looks less than half full. So it's gonna stay right here. I'll keep it alive. Okay, that cleared up some spot in the middle. And then when I get that tomato out, we're gonna have a big spot here for the plant that's downstairs. Pretty happy with that. This is early flower for everybody in here. Oh, here's my little stash jar that I'm just gonna slowly cure inside this jar, open it up every day and stir it with my hands. Just keep it right on my desk. There's my dead clone.
Well, that's the good thing about when you get good at doing the work, right? Beat after beat. They start seeming too easy.
Oh, there's a dead piece of grass there because I pulled it out at the
You're
same
like,
time.
damn, am I working too much?
But it wasn't dying. The grass was healthy. Just the clone.
Yeah, I drop
died.
like 50
The other
videos a
pot
day.
here,
Max out on your
the tomato in it.
production limit.
All I have to do now is bring that down.
You're like,
to
you
the
can't post
basement
any more
and then
videos on
this
YouTube.
time.
You're doing too much. Really?
Alright, so when I added
Yeah,
for
they'll start seeing those
nutrients in here,
messages.
I did a little top dress of kelp meal, bone meal, just a few tablespoons of each. Maggie and I mixed them all together and watered them in with aerated water. It's been aerating here. And then I stirred it up. And I took some of the soil from this pot. You can see it's missing a bunch now. I took a bunch of this soil and topped off the soil for everybody. The other pots. And that's it. I just wanted to show you just kind of how it all came to a conclusion in here for the day. Probably going to take this one out and put the flowering plant from downstairs up here. So there's still more to do, but I think that's it for today. Because we like to look at growth as well, and the plants haven't grown today, but for this, you know, like, I'll come back after they've grown a little bit and done something. Yep, can you even freaking believe what is going on here? Like, I don't think I've ever seen this, where it's just one snowstorm after another, and what people are trying to do. Why are you driving around in it? It actually looks like we've gotten a couple, like an inch already.
Yeah, that's not what YouTube's telling me.
There's a parking ban.
They're like, yeah, you normally get between 13 to 20,000 views.
It's different than last year, so
this is what Spider Pig was talking about from my good channel, because you know I do have a channel that's just
we'll get through it.
flourishing in views, right? It's almost at 1 million views, so when they tell him shit like, yeah, you were posting 6 to 8 videos a day, we love that, and you're getting damn near 20 to 30,000 views a day. Yeah, we like when you do that.
Because you cannot believe something and know it. You cannot believe it and know it. No. And you can only believe in what you don't know. I like that. You can only believe in what you don't know. That's why you have to believe it. Yes. Ah. Now, do you believe in your mother and father? No, I know my mother and father. Yeah. So, but you might believe in Jesus. I might believe in Jesus. Because you don't know Jesus. I've never met him. And you can only believe in what you don't know. If I get water, I get a black cat. Yep. a white one, a blue one, and a yellow one. And I fill them with water and seal them.
Yeah, okay.
When you look, would you see the water?
You can't see the water at all.
You would see the different colors.
The different colours.
And if you trust those eyes of yours,
Yeah.
you're going to believe that they're different, aren't you?
I will believe it.
Until you go and fucking taste them.
Correct.
And what are you going to discover?
That it's all just water.
All one. One missing diversity, we call it.
Yeah.
Now you see all these human beings that you see. And if you go to any one of them, excuse me sir, what color is your mind? You see here what you said?
He doesn't know what colour is mine.
No, because we are spirits living in different color physical bodies. We are not our bodies. You look at my body and say I'm a black man. That is a program. You was programmed from birth to believe that you are blacks and whites. When you fuck all like that, you're just a spirit in a body full of the same stinking shit.
Randy Walters is the son of a bitch. Yeah, that's why I fucked his wife and got filthy rich. It's my dough. It's my dough. Stop stealing my dough. Stop stealing my dough. Stop disconnecting my videos. It's my dough. It's my dough. Stop stealing my dough. Stop stealing my dough. Stop disconnecting my videos. It's my dough. It's my dough. Stop stealing my dough. Stop stealing my dough. Stop disconnecting my videos. It's my dough. It's my dough. Stop stealing my dough. Stop stealing my dough.
I told you, beat out the beat. You know I got me a good fire A1 video. Every motherfucking rip.
Pressing charges, let me know.
Hey, what we gonna do? Review some shit, right? Right.
Cutting off my video, listening to that unconfidential hoe. Crooked Popo. Randy Walters is the son of a bitch. Yeah, that's why I fucked his wife and got filthy rich. Randy Walters is so rotten. He's hooked on coke and Oxycontin. In Manchester long ago, he owed a drug dealer lots of dough. He tried to run like a track star. He got stuck trying to hide underneath the car. He became the chief of Manchester. Now Manchester is a disaster. He pulls you over. He steals your pills, your Oxycontin, and your dollar bills. He's a drug addict. He got fired. He went to Adams County. Somehow he got hired. Cal stealing Kimmy Rogers is a bullshitter. He needs to stop hiring criminals and knocking up his babysitter. Randy Walters is the son of a bitch. Yeah, that's why I fucked this wife and got filthy rich. Hey Randy, fix my dough, fix my dough. Stop stealing my dough, stop stealing my dough. Stop disconnecting my videos. Fix my dough, fix my dough. Stop stealing my dough, stop stealing my dough. Stop disconnecting my videos. Fix my dough, fix my dough. Stop stealing my dough, stop stealing my dough. Stop disconnecting my videos. Fix my dough, fix my dough. Stop stealing my dough, stop stealing my dough. Stop disconnecting my videos.
He said, hey, if I gotta wear this suit, I'm gonna wear it, right?
If there's no kidnap victims, let me go. Stop cutting off my video. Listening to that unconfidential hoe, crooked popo. My video camera. Oh yeah. Keep your fucking hands on my video camera. You motherfucker. You son of a bitch. You cocksucker. Stop hitting women at the stop signs. You know driving reckless punk ass son of a bitch. Oh yeah. Fuck you too. Don't you ever flip me off on my own surveillance system. You punk ass no good motherfucker. Use a penguin looking motherfucker. Plus Fish fucked your wife and you gotta take care of his kid.
That's a fungus in Thailand. What else would you mentioned Africa? Whereabouts in Africa?
So I was in Zimbabwe and South Africa working on different projects. We had 157,000 square foot facility we were setting up in South Africa before COVID hit. And then we had a 300 hectare grow, which is about 752 acres in Zimbabwe, which was at the time one of the largest in Africa that was permitted at all in any country.
What up?
And then COVID hit and it slowly kind of suffocated us because we couldn't get supplies. But it was fun until the wheels fell off there. And the biggest issue we had in Zimbabwe was we had grasshoppers, or basically locusts, and when they would climb up the plants, and then like a third of the way down from the top, they would eat the Cambrian layer off the plant, and the tops would just bend and flop over. And then they get, secondary infections and fungal infections and shit after that. And we were having a real big problem with it, and there was no good control that we could buy that was, smokable at the end of the day. So I called up Chris Trump because I was like, yo, they sealed the borders off. Like, what do I do? And he was like, hey, try this thing called, it's like a variation of IMO. And for those that aren't familiar with IMO is putting cooked rice out into the forest in a basket or a box and collecting the local saprophytic fungi, and it also has yeasts and photosynthetic bacteria and all these different types of like forest beneficial microbes, kind of like the stuff that you buy at the store, except you're collecting it locally from where you are. Except the difference is that if you're making IPMO, what you do is you mix in about a 1/3 rice or a 1/3 insect frass or locally collected insects. So for instance, we do 300 grams of insects to 700 grams of rice to make a 1 kilogram batch of this.
Me with the beard.
So you mix the two together. We cook them until they're about 80% of the way cooked, 85% of the way cooked. Then we take them out. We kind of not wring them out completely, but kind of get at least the 80% of the moisture out of it because you don't want it too wet. And then we would put that out into baskets or boxes. And then once we did that for 5 days, it would collect the local fungus that feeds on the insect's exoskeletons, because you have all of the proteins and juices from the insects that is now cooked into the rice. You have the starch in the rice. So it helps collect the insects that feed on chitin, which is the the calcium portion of the exoskeleton of the insect. So now I have a pesticide that's all the fungi and bacteria that love to feed on the exoskeletons of the local insects from that property. So you can drink the stuff, you can spray it on your kids, you can spray it on your dog. It's not going to hurt anything. You know, it's completely harmless to any of us. But we went out and sprayed that in the field, and we went from, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of them per, you know, square 100 feet to like 2. You know, they were just the ones that had flown in. And all the ones that we had sprayed directly were covered in like this white fungus. They looked like almost like a moldy candy, like a moldy Jolly Rancher or something. Like they were just these weird little white puff balls. And then if the other ones crawl across it, well, they're going to get infected by those spores and it kills them. So it's a way to kind of, especially if you have like aphids or a big outbreak of something with a lot of density, of population density, it's really good for clap. Same thing with like Bavaria bassiana. It's very similar to that, except you can manufacture it yourself anywhere in the world. And I've used that in Thailand. We managed to help keep away. We only had the wind-borne thrips in our grow. We had nothing else because they were just getting annihilated as soon as they came in. You'd find the little, you know, fungified insects here and there, but they weren't, you know, it doesn't hurt anything with the plants. It's also really good for for feeding in your water system as well, because that insect frass, as it breaks down, releases chitinase. Chitinase helps the plants with their own SAR response and make them, you know, defend themselves a little bit better. And it also increases the terpene expression, because that's what SAR is the secondary metabolite production of those things. So you're trying to boost terpenes and flavonoids and all that other stuff. It's a great way to do so.
That's fascinating, brother. Absolutely fascinating. So that's Zimbabwe. Did you find growing so close to the ocean in South Africa provide any, like the humidity? Was that an issue, or was there anything that South Africa? Because it's warmer out there. I don't fucking know, actually, to be honest. I'm assuming.
But it's geography, you know?
Yeah. I know South Africa's at the far tip of Africa.
So southern point, yeah.
Yeah.
It's closest to the equator, right? Or
So the grow I was working in was in East London, which is kind of south of Johannesburg, or southeast of Johannesburg. I had to think about that for a second. The humidity there was not really much different from, you know, maybe slightly higher than Zimbabwe, but it was very similar to Jamaica, so it was nothing I wasn't used to. You know, and again, anytime you go into a more humid environment, as long as you keep your fungus, even if you just do IMO and you keep the fungus going in the soil, even that alone makes an immense difference. I noticed that especially like in growing in Oklahoma, right? All the fields in that 2019, when they first legalized, everyone grew these huge fields and everyone planted runts and all this other stuff that is just not at all appropriate for the climate. And they were just melting. And the plants that were melting the most were the ones that were put into cattle fields that were converted because they were sprayed with 2,4-D and you know, other broadleaf herbicides. And a lot of those go after the fungus, like also kill the fungus in the soil. So these plants, or a cornfield or something else that was converted, right? So there's no fungi in the soil. So as soon as they put those cannabis plants in, the plants don't know how to defend themselves against fungi, beneficial or not, because they've never seen it before in the root system. So they don't make the secondary metabolites. But if you take that same field and apply even 1 or 2 applications of IMO, indigenous microorganisms, or even just a fungal inoculant, or a good compost, any of those will work. You don't have these issues with Septoria, Fusarium, Botrytis, because the plant is like, hey, I know what fungus is. I'm going to make some defenses against fungus, and then at least I can defend myself. I know that's saying you're never going to get it, but your plants are going to be significantly more resistant to it, and you're going to have significantly less problems. You're not going to get random Septoria outbreaks. You're only going to have 1 or 2 plants that maybe got like insect damage that have some fungus on it. But your healthy plants that are doing well, generally are going to be able to defend themselves significantly better.
What do you think is the first thing that we got to do here to get our weed ready, get our smoke ready? What do you think the first thing is we have to do?
Wash our hands.
That's a fucking great answer, Emily. And that's the correct answer. We must wash our hands. Fuck no. We're not washing our hands. We got to do drugs.
This video is intended strictly for educational, scientific, and documentary purposes. The information presented is focused on plant biology, cultivation theory, environmental control, and general horticultural analysis. Nothing in this content should be interpreted as legal, medical, or financial advice, nor as encouragement to violate any local, state, or federal laws. Viewers are solely responsible for understanding and complying with the laws and regulations in their own area. This channel promotes responsible, lawful, and safe educational discussion only. Hey, what's up, growers? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most important decisions for any grower: where to get your genetics. A good seed bank doesn't just sell you seeds, it sets the foundation for your entire grow. The right choice means healthy plants, strong yields, and genetics you can rely on. The wrong choice? You're wasting time, money, and energy. I'll be breaking down the best seed banks, comparing cost, variety, and reliability, while also touching on feminized versus regular seeds. I'll cover some of my personal favorites like ILGM, Seedsman, Rocket Seeds, and Crop King. And I'll bring in a few others that deserve mention, but let's get into it. So, why do seed banks even matter? Before we get into names, let's talk about why seed banks are so important. A good seed bank offers stable genetics, germination guarantees, and reliable shipping. They often give educational resources and strain information that help beginners and experienced growers alike. Think of it like buying a car. Would you rather buy from a dealership that guarantees the engine runs, or a shady guy in a parking lot? Same principle. So let's clear some things up. Feminized versus regular seeds. Feminized seeds are bred to almost always produce female plants. For those who don't know, those are the ones that give you buds. For most growers, this is the way to go because you don't waste time growing a plant for 3 months only to find an aesthetic cannabis nuts on it. Regular seeds, on the other hand, produce both male and female plants. They're harder for beginners, but essential if you want to breed your own strains. All right, one of my go-to recommendations for beginners, ILGM, offers a ton of educational resources, including Robert Bergman's Grow Bible, which makes it super beginner friendly. Their seeds come with a germination guarantee or your money back, and they specialize in feminized and autoflower seeds. They're not the cheapest option, but what you're paying for is reliability, strong customer service, and discreet U.S. shipping. If you're new, ILGM is a safe bet. Now, if you're looking for pure variety, Seed Supreme is the way to go. They stock hundreds of strains, often from multiple breeders, so you'll find everything from high THC monsters to CBD-rich cultivars. They also run a lot of promos, free seeds with orders, discount for first-timers, and free shipping over a certain amount. Great if you want to experiment or keep your grow interesting. Seedsman is another giant with almost overwhelming catalog. They carry genetics from over 100 breeders worldwide, including rare and land-raised strains. They also have a loyalty program, so if you plan on ordering often, the rewards add up. Shipping is stealthy, and they'll usually replace lost packages. Seedsman is perfect for growers who want access to genetics beyond the mainstream. Crop King Seeds, one of my favorites, has been around a long time and is known for marketing towards North American growers. They're solid if you want reliable feminized or autoflower seeds, and they develop some fast version strains that flower quicker than normal. Some growers love them, others think their genetics aren't as consistent as ILGM or Seedsman. Still, they're worth checking out if you want some high speed or North American availability. Rocket Seeds is another classic, a reliable option, especially for global shipping. They stock feminized, regular CBD, and autoflower seeds, and they're known for high germination rates. Their customer service is 24/7. Now that stands out. If you're outside the U.S. and wants dependable delivery, Rocket Seeds should be on your list. Herbies is a bit of a hidden gem. They've got a huge selection, over 2,000 strains, and they offer long germination guarantees, sometimes up to a year. They're also really generous with free seeds and run frequent promos. Herbies is perfect for their adventurous growers who like to try new genetics and values customer support. Next is Royal Queen Seeds. Finally, Royal Queen Seeds, based out of Europe, is known for innovation. They've released F1 hybrids with uniform growth and strong vigor. Their catalog isn't as massive as Seedsman, but the quality of their genetics is really top notch. If you want cutting edge genetics, RQS is a solid choice. At the end of the day, the best seed bank depends on your goals. ILGM is great for beginners. Seedsman and Seed Supreme shine in variety. Rocket Seeds and Herbies are strong on shipping and promos. Crop King has speed options, and RQS leads in genetic innovation. The key is to match your growth style with the right seed bank. That's how you get reliable results and genetics that make your work worthwhile. Oh, that's a wrap, guys. I wanted to thank you for watching today's video. I hope you found this video educational and help you pick a reliable source for your genetics. If you like, leave a like. And if you want to join us growers on our journey, don't forget to subscribe. And again, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for more. Peace.
Gonna cost a lot of money. Let's see. Gonna be about $6,500.
How about $50?
$50? Costs at least $3,000.
Afroman takes full victory in his case against the Adams County Sheriff. Do that today in some hilarious clips from the trial, which absolutely are amazing on this video on the Legal Mindset, where we teach you to be your own judge. Of course, it's a fast facts video, the quick and dirty, the latest in the legal news. So let's get into the case real quick for a background, and those that may or may not know, obviously we had the defendant here, Afroman Joseph Edgar Foreman, against the plaintiff, Adams County Sheriff. These are the parody depictions from one of Afroman's videos. We got Officer Poundcake, the Hunchback, Lick'em Low Lisa, as she goes by, and all of those cast of characters that were coming against him after a raid on his house. His house was raided under suspicion of narcotics and kidnapping. They smashed his front door open, his gate. They searched his entire house. They took cash. They debatably took pound cake, but they found no drugs, no kidnapping victims. And because that Afroman was reasonably upset, and because of that, he worked back and did something non-violent, as we do, using his speech to parody the incompetence of law enforcement through parody videos he put up on his website. Now, after he used that surveillance footage to create parody videos and mock them, they decided to sue him for defamation. Now, we have a verdict in that case, and that case, as we can say, did not go well for the sheriffs.
It's been an emotional case. It's been a well-tried case. The lawyers did what they should do. The parties did what they should do. And in all circumstances, the jury finds in favor of the defendant. No plaintiff verdict prevailed. It's been
that means complete Afroman victory on all counts. It goes to the defendant, that is Afroman. Everything in his favor. Not a single officer prevailed against him. That is an absolute and complete Afroman W. Now, one of the things is this trial provided some amazing and crazy music videos and clips, which were absolutely wild. And while he won in court, he won even bigger on social media, with this getting out all across all of the internet, X, everywhere else, the New York Post, TMZ, everybody ended up covering this case. So even in instances where the officers themselves had not seen these videos, they were not only forced to watch them in court, as you'll see in a clip here in a second, but also now they're going to see these all across the internet. So here we're going to have a clip where this officer had actually not seen the video Lemon Pound Cake, and now is forced to watch this in court.
Mr. Cooley, sorry. Sean, you were called Officer
Is your video done?
by Mr. Foreman?
No, I'm still.
Hundreds.
And the context of that name comes from a music video that Mr. Foreman created, correct?
I don't know where he got it at, but
Well, he's about to figure out. He's about to find out where Officer Pound Cake came from. And mind you, this is the defense playing the video for him, saying, hey, no, you're going to watch this and you're going to know where this came from because you need to know the origin of this and how it's complete parody and how this is something that is well protected by the First Amendment. Songs of thanks. And that's classic. This is classic parody. Trying to sue over essentially what comes back to a donut joke. Hungry cops liking food, liking sweets. That's essential parody. That's essential humor. That's something everybody recognizes as humor. But this guy, to take the position, the sheriff, that he had never seen the video, he didn't know about it, he had no idea where he got it from, no idea why he said that, having to play that out in front of him in court, not only in front of those people, but now in front of the entire internet, the entire world that now knows why this guy is called Officer Pound Cake, because he's a little hefty and he's eyeing that a little hungrily. And thus the legend was proved in court. But the clips didn't stop there. There's even more ridiculous moments from the courtroom with the officers. The next one is one that I couldn't believe.
So you're claiming that is the defamation statement, is that he said he had sex with her?
Yes.
And that's painted you in a false light?
It's caused tremendous pain in my life.
I'll get to that. We have to go through false light first. So does it paint you in a false light?
Yes, that my wife is cheating on me with Mr. Foreman.
But we all know that's not true, correct?
I don't know.
He doesn't know if his wife is cheating on him with Afroman? That look of genuine shock where he's like, I don't know whether my wife is... Well, you're claiming this is false, but now you're saying you don't even know if your wife is out there going and running off with Afroman in the middle of the night. You're actually, this parody video injected doubt in this man. This is something I have never seen in a courtroom before. Genuine questions of marital fidelity over a rap video mocking and parodying this guy. Absolutely, once again, I've not seen clips like this and quotes like this from a case anywhere else. But it doesn't, once again, they don't stop there. Now we get into another clip where we're talking about one of the female officers.
Mr. Foreman posted that Lisa Phillips likes to have with other women. He used other words. She ate my ex-wife just like pizza.
I never thought I would hear she ate my ex-wife just like pizza in a courtroom. I never really thought I would hear that. Really, ever. But here we are in the Afroman case.
Eating, blah, 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 over and over, thousands of times on the internet. People saw it, people laughed, people from out of state, but people here in Adams County would sometimes yell at her when they saw her. Hey, Lisa Low Phillips, that was his nickname for her. Mr. Foreman posted...
So, once again, this is classic parody. This is something that the defense attorney brought up when he's brought up the song WAP, saying, hey, look, rap lyrics are graphic. Songs are graphic. You don't often think that is actual literal reality. When you're going through those rap lyrics, when you're going through those songs, that's not reality. So the fact that you're embarrassed by some words in there, or those words offend you, or those words might be words you don't like, that doesn't equal liability. That doesn't necessarily equal defamation. That equals parody. That equals mocking. That equals public humiliation. That's not defamation or even false light, which is a different type of claim which is allowed in Ohio, but not in some other states, that allows essentially a defamation-like claim, but for a false and misleading portrayal of someone. That's false light versus defamation. But in either case, it's neither one of those because it is simple hyperbole, it is simple artistic speech. And last but not least, we have another amazing quote from this case, which I think is probably the first time I've heard this in all of courtroom history.
In my opinion, I f***ed his wife dog style. He said it like they were facts.
I have to say, if I was in the courtroom when this went down, I would absolutely be losing it. I would not be able to hold it. Once again, these are rap lyrics. This is what people say. If you listen to rap, it's I effed your girl, I did this, I effed this girl, your sister, your cousin, whatever. That's normal. That's artistic speech. That's not something that is regulated. That's not something we find liability for. So, but the plaintiffs, the Adams County Sheriff, decided to bring this case. And by bringing these cases and bringing this case and making these arguments and arguing that these statements were defamatory on live television broadcast around the world, now you're going to hear this even more. So the humiliation was actually increased by the fact that they brought this claim. And if you look at Afroman's channel, you can see a lot of his videos were just pushed out in the last week or two. In fact, if this trial had not happened, many of those videos might not have come out at all. So let's get to my judgment. In judgment, this is a full victory for Afroman, completely clearing him of any liability, of any sort of accountability for this. This is not on him at all in any way. The judge laid that out there. The jury obviously came to a very clear and concise and decisive victory. So this is something that is a huge win for First Amendment free speech, for parody, for artistic creation, for fans of lemon pound cake. And I think this is a great example of a trial where they looked at the videos, they looked at the context, they looked at the damage and said there's nothing wrong here and there's no damage done. And I think this did come out the right way. However, the trial is even more valuable that it provided countless clips which will fuel even more internet parody of the sheriffs. And it's kind of a lesson for lawsuits not to bring and reasons why you should not bring a lawsuit if you do not want to be mocked, if you do not want to be humiliated, if your charges are weak, if your charges are not strong, because that is indeed going to happen when it comes out. But I want to know what you guys think about the Afroman trial. Let me know in the comments below, and I will catch you on the next one.
So over the last few weeks, we've seen massive changes across multiple states, from prohibition states like Texas banning all forms of smokable flower, including hemp and THCA, to now fully legal states like Ohio plotting some really dangerous changes. But perhaps the most concerning thing that we're seeing time and time again is an increased number of raids and drug busts involving the DEA as well as state agents. But here's the catch. This is happening in both legal states like Virginia as well as prohibition states like South Carolina.
Well, we begin this evening in the city of Suffolk, where 9 stores are closing shop. And 10 people are behind bars tonight. That's the result of a search warrant on multiple vape shops. 10 on your side, Ethan Krause is live at one of the shops where it happened, and he has more. Hey, Ethan.
Yeah, hey, Karina. You can see the sign posted on the door just behind me at the Suffolk vape shop here. Now, these are from the Suffolk Fire Marshal. You can see it says no trespassing, so nobody allowed at this time. And as you said, this is one of the 9 stores that were involved in the citywide multi-agency bust for selling illegal drugs. 10 people were arrested across these 9 stores and charged with possession with intent to distribute illegal marijuana. Multiple local, state, and federal agencies, from Virginia State Police to the DEA and Department of Homeland Security, were involved in these busts. We spoke with a resident who's been coming to this particular store for 2 years now. And he says it was shocking to hear just the scale of this citywide investigation.
I was on Facebook when I seen it, and then I drove by, and I just was in kind of disbelief, like, it's really happening. So it's kind of crazy to me. 10 people is insane. That's actually a lot. I know it's probably some underage kids probably coming in with fake IDs, so it kind of cuts out that. So it keeps the community a little safer.
Now, Suffolk police are asking anyone with additional information to call them or the Suffolk Crime Line.
So that's an increasing trend that we're seeing across multiple states. Raids and drug busts involving not only the DEA, but also local state agents. And that example, which you guys just saw, was over in Virginia. Now, mind you, Virginia is a semi-legal state, but it's soon to be fully legal. Because at the moment, Virginia has no legal avenue for recreational sales. But that may change pretty soon, because Virginia lawmakers who sponsored the marijuana sales legalization bill are celebrating its passage, as it's currently been sent to the governor's desk for signature. And according to this, less than a year from now, you'll be able to legally purchase products for adult recreational use throughout Virginia. Now, the Democrat governor is expected to sign this bill into law, as she said she would during an interview with the Mercury last summer. But for me, this is a little bit bittersweet, because she's also proposing some really devastating bills over in Virginia, which will really affect tons of law-abiding citizens. From restricting your Second Amendment rights to taxing dog walkers and implementing all sorts of crazy taxes and fees on things like delivery services like Uber Eats and Amazon.
With the legislation on its way to Governor Abigail Spanberger's desk, the state would ban the sale, manufacture, and import of a series of guns classified as assault weapons and magazines that hold more than 15 rounds after July 1st, 2026.
Now, for me, one of the most shocking changes is abolishing mandatory minimum sentencing for rape, manslaughter, and assaulting a law enforcement officer, as well as possession and distribution of child pornography, as well as giving convicted murderers, rapists, and terrorists a chance to get out of prison early. That's mind-blowing.
Democrats in Virginia are considering passing. They include additional local sales tax in all Virginia counties and cities, new personal property tax on electric leaf blowers and electric landscaping equipment, large employer tax, gun and ammunition tax, new income tax brackets, a delivery tax. This would hit you if you make an order on Amazon, Uber Eats, or an order that includes UPS, FedEx delivery, etc. here in Northern Virginia. There's also a tax they're looking at for events, concerts, an investment income tax, storage facility tax, gym membership tax, dog walking tax, dog grooming tax, counseling tax, digital personal property tax, new car taxes and highway use fees, an increase in the hotel tax here in Arlington, statewide speed cameras. Now, these aren't taxes, but they would include more fines for some drivers, dry cleaning tax, home repair tax, and a vehicle repair tax.
But thankfully, at least they're going to be able to buy legal herbs soon. But hopefully it's not going to be taxed at extortionate amounts. But it definitely feels like they had no choice but to legalize, because according to this, cannabis is more morally acceptable than gambling. And that's according to a brand new poll. But despite all that, we're still seeing crackdowns on CBD and vape shops by DEA and state agents. And in some of those situations, shop owners are saying that even legal products are being seized. And this is happening right now over in South Carolina. Check it out. So you guys know we're all about following the trends and staying updated when it comes to legalization, especially when it affects multiple states across America. And what we're seeing right now is a really concerning trend where tons of different states are taking steps to ban some of these smokable THC products, including hemp and THCA. We've seen it already over in Texas, and now we're seeing it over in South Carolina. And as you guys would have heard in that clip, for a lot of business owners, the flower is their most popular product. It makes up most of their inventory, and for tons of consumers, that's their preferred option. So now we're in a situation where these products are going to be banned, removed from store shelves, despite the fact that according to this new study, legalizing the good herb for recreational or medical use actually leads to reductions in different types of crime. But now lawmakers are removing these products from store shelves, and tons of these consumers are going to be forced to hit up the black market. And as I always say, as law-abiding citizens, if you give these lawmakers an inch, they'll take a mile. We've seen it already in other industries. What starts off as seemingly innocent regulations designed to help the population, in fact, turns out to a stranglehold for most businesses where only the rich can survive. Or in other situations, they just wipe out everything. And that is by design. And that's exactly what we're seeing in the cannabis industry, because now senators are looking to regulate hemp products, including THC beverages. So if you're wondering, oh, there's no smokable flower, what about gummies and beverages? Well, they're coming after those too. Check it out.
Over at the State House now, senators are debating a bill aimed at regulating hemp consumable products. Those can be anything from THC beverages to hemp candies. Our Jersey Frost joins us now from the State House with the debate.
Lawmakers are taking another stab at putting guardrails on hemp consumable products. This latest bill would put age restrictions on drinks and ban other products altogether. Hemp products can come in many forms, like THC beverages or gummies. A loophole in a 2018 law allowed a wide range of products to be sold. And today, experts say the industry is largely unregulated.
This is here through a loophole, through a trick. Okay, a mistake. So now we're dealing with a mistake, and that snuck through, and now we're going to have to figure out what to do with it.
Some lawmakers want an all-out ban. Others say there should be clear rules on what can be sold and how, similar to how we regulate alcohol. The bill would allow THC-infused drinks, but it would prevent anyone under 21 from buying them. It would also regulate how they're sold. Drinks with a higher percentage of THC could only be sold in liquor stores, while less concentrated drinks could be sold alongside beer and wine at convenience or grocery stores. It would ban all other THC products like edibles and oils.
So this is an experiment with our citizens. To make no mistake, even the drinks are an experiment with our citizens.
Supporters call the hemp industry the Wild West, completely unregulated.
So like I said, this is a really concerning trend that we're seeing affect multiple states. States are banning smokable flower, including hemp and THCA. States like South Carolina, they're even banning edibles and regulating THC drinks. States like Michigan, they're implementing crazy high taxes. These are both legal and prohibition states. And according to this new study, high taxes don't even effectively deter use. So that means that people are still going to get the products that they need regardless of what the laws are. So in situations like these, where lawmakers are trying to ban some of these products, inevitably grow the black market, but also affect people who can use it for either medical purposes or to get off of things like alcohol, it's definitely going to affect them. And I'm going to show you guys a really clear example of that. But before we do, just a quick reminder, if you're getting value from this video, please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support us further, join the ICANN VIP Bean Club or cop some merch from our merch store. We got that new American-grown hoodie. Use that code ICANNTHC and grab it now. And if you happen to be a home gardener, try the ICANN Organics. Use the code LEGAL. It works on the bundle and the seeds.
But others say that these drinks are an alternative for people with alcoholism.
They used to drink alcohol. They realize that alcohol is a huge problem for them. But they enjoy and they think that the hemp beverages are better, right? It doesn't cause them to become angry and violent as perhaps some tequila shots would.
An amendment to completely ban all these products, including drinks, failed. Another amendment would only allow these to be sold in liquor stores. Lawmakers voted to table it.
We don't know how dangerous these are. We really don't know how dangerous these are for you. And if you can get it in a grocery store, I believe it, it's not so dangerous.
I have a massive concern that this amendment would be forcing alcoholics to go into liquor stores, and I think that is terrible policy as a state.
Now, there's similar bills on the House side. One bill that would ban these products and the other that would regulate them, but neither of those have passed the House floor yet.
So over in South Carolina, they're really grappling with some of these THC products. When it comes to the beverages, when it comes to the edibles, when it comes to the smokable flower. And it really proposes an interesting question and a really unique perspective. Because in situations where recovering alcoholics do not actually want to go into liquor stores to purchase some of these products, which is exactly what some of these bills are proposing, what's the alternative solution? For certain folks who don't want to use Big Pharma's opioids and opiates, what's the alternative solution? Because over in South Carolina, there's no current medical program, nor is there a recreational program. And the only thing that they propose to not ban are the THC-infused beverages. And that's causing tons of issues for multiple states, because even over in Ohio, officials are defending their governor's veto of the hemp THC drink provision, because according to this, lawmakers in Ohio stand on that ban, they're in favor of it, and they're actually criticizing the brewers for waiting more than 2 months after the veto to in fact file a legal challenge. Have a look at this.
Well, the fight over THC-infused drinks is ongoing, and it's something we've been following closely here at News 5. Ohio Senate Bill 56 would ban intoxicating hemp products, including those THC-infused seltzers, from being sold outside licensed marijuana dispensaries.
Breweries and small businesses across the state say the ban could literally shut down their businesses. Tessa DeTiro is live in the studio here with us after talking with Saucy Brewworks about the impacts, and what did they have to say?
Well, good morning, Mike. They say this is big business. So Saucy Brewworks CEO Brent Zimmerman says THC seltzers are really popular for them. So much so, Brent says they are selling more of them than when traditional seltzers came on the market. He estimates right now THC seltzers make up about 20% of Saucy's business. And Saucy Brewworks is just one of these businesses working to place Senate Bill 56 in the voters' hands, attempting to get the matter on the November ballot through a referendum.
Now that's something that you guys mentioned in past videos. Why do lawmakers not put these issues on the ballot so the voters can actually decide on it? And the truth is that they know if they do, the votes, they'll be overwhelming. But instead, what they do is sneak through these quick legislative changes, put a really soon deadline, and according to this deadline over in Ohio is literally in 2 days' time. March the 20th is when this ban will come into force. Have a look.
Attempting to get the matter on the November ballot through a referendum. SB 56 is getting really close, though, to going into effect. It would start the ban on hemp drinks in breweries, bars, and restaurants on March 20th. And for Saucy Brewworks, that ban, they say, comes with huge repercussions.
We could potentially close. You're talking 6 pubs and 200 plus employees. I think as a state, there's 6,000 plus businesses affected by this. The craft brewing industry is on its last legs and strings anyway. It's increasingly harder and harder to compete with big beer.
Supporters of the bill think it would create clearer rules and stronger oversight for products sold through dispensaries.
You know, the liquid refreshment that's being sold, I know some of the retailers are saying that they card people. That just means it needs to be regulated. It's time for the legislature now to step in and regulate the drinkable product that is being sold, just like we regulate liquor, just like we, regulate beer.
Organizers here really are in a race to get enough signatures to pause SB 56 and allow the voters to decide. The clock is ticking. The deadline to get enough signatures on the referendum is this Friday. Saucy Brewworks set up a station to sign the referendum at the brewery. And we'll follow what happens next on Friday. Tiffany?
You're right, Tessa. That is coming soon, so we'll be checking back in.
So time and time again, the only people to be affected by these laws and regulations are the law-abiding citizens. Because think about it, guys. People are going to get these products regardless of whether it's legal or not. If they want it, they're going to find a way to get it. But when people are doing things legally and there's a legal avenue, when you shut that down, implement crazy high taxes, or just straight out ban or over-regulate products, that causes people who are putting food on their table for their families to no longer have the ability to do that, because now they're going to be forced to shut down. And I'm really not sure why these drinks are suddenly causing such a massive stir, because right now, even over in Rhode Island, officials are supporting a ban on serving hemp THC drinks in bars and restaurants, even if they have liquor licenses. So it's really crazy to see the steps that some of these states and lawmakers would go to deprive law-abiding citizens of accessing these products. And Pennsylvania, another great example. They've not even got a recreational market yet, but according to this, senators are amending the cannabis regulation bills with new provisions to ban most hemp THC products. I mean, you simply cannot make this stuff up. So when I say legalization is intrinsically linked to politics, I absolutely mean it. And most of the times, a lot of these lawmakers will not move until they can get some sort of kickback, or they can get profit generated in the form of tax revenue for the state. And even in states where they have legalized, like over in Oklahoma, according to this new lawsuit, they are alleging that the state deliberately cripples the entire cannabis industry. Check it out.
30 Oklahoma farmers are suing the state, claiming it is deliberately crippling the medical marijuana industry. I talked with one owner about how their lives are being impacted and how a recent victory in court is giving them hope. At Joy Growers is one of 30 medical marijuana farms suing Governor Kevin Stitt and other state agencies. The suit, seeking class action status, claims Oklahoma is creating a system that makes it impossible to do business. Their attorney, Dana Kurtz. None of them want to be involved in a lawsuit. They want to operate their business. Randy Guzman of At Joy says she's tired of being treated like a criminal.
We, as legal operators, want illegal operators out just as much as the state agencies, but we are not those people.
At issue, legislation passed in 2024 to require marijuana farms to get a certificate of occupancy, simply proof the building is safe, and typically required for new construction or change of use. But Kurt says making the law retroactive when her clients already invested millions is unconstitutional.
If the government truly intended this to be a safety issue, they would have shut down every single business that did not have a COO, not based on some retroactive date.
The suit goes further. Businesses now actively trying to get a COO can't.
It's that goalpost or finish line. It's always moving. It beats you down. It beats you down mentally.
Some businesses 2 years, 3 years that they've been trying to get a certificate of occupancy. but all they face is government red tape.
A certificate of occupancy is for buildings, but at AtGrow, the state yanked their entire license, including their outdoor operation, until a federal judge ruled the state had no legal basis to do so. They are still working to get the COO for their indoor operations. Kurt says more proof it's a plan, Governor Stitt's own anti-industry comments, and this from Donnie Anderson of the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics.
Even your people that do this legally, we're driving them out of business.
Guzman says they just want to do the job they're legally allowed to do.
So guys, these are all current stories happening within the last few days and a concerted effort that we're seeing across multiple states to literally drive into the ground the entire cannabis industry. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. We're seeing situations with overregulation, massive tax and licensing increases, and now they're just going to straight up ban flower and different types of smokable hemp, THCA products. It's absolutely mind-blowing. Let me know what you guys think about all this. This is crazy, crazy developments, and I want to hear where you guys stand on all these stories. So drop your thoughts and concerns in the comment section down below. Now, if you thought you knew the lengths that lawmakers would go to outlaw this good plant, then I'm telling you, you really don't. Because in our next video, they're even trying to criminalize the smell of the good herb, even if you're consuming it on your own private property. It's absolutely crazy. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's coming up right now.
Watch where you walking, nigga. Hey, what you say, nigga?
Watch closely. You're about to experience a nigga moment. Webster defines the nigga moment as a moment when ignorance overwhelms the mind of an otherwise logical Negro male.
What did you say, bitch, nigga? Hey, squeeze it, nigga.
Causing him to act in an illogical, self-destructive manner, i.e., like a nigga. Nigga moments are unpredictable.
Hey, wait, man, wait. This is stupid. Hey, you right, dawg. Look, let's put the guns away and go on about our business. Freeze!
But they all end up bad. If they had their own category, nigga moments would be the third leading killer of black men behind pork chops and FEMA. It's a fact. Now let's see how a nigga moment affects a white man.
Watch where you walking, bitch.
What did you...
Wait a minute.
I'm white. Where you going? Don't you ignore me. This is a perfectly good moment to throw your life away.
If you're growing cannabis in cocoa, there's a really good chance you've already made at least one of these mistakes. Cocoa is one of the fastest growing mediums in the world, but it also punishes beginners harder than soil if you don't understand how it works. So today, I'm breaking down my 7 biggest mistakes that growers and myself made using cocoa and the lessons that they taught me. If you understand these, your plants will explode in growth. Number 1, treating cocoa like it's soil. The first mistake almost everyone makes is treating cocoa like it's soil. And I get it. You look at cocoa and it looks like dirt. You put it in a pot and you think basically you're growing in soil. But cocoa actually behaves much closer to hydroponics. There are almost no nutrients stored in the medium. That means the plant is relying almost completely on the nutrient solution you feed it. So when beginners water cocoa the same way they water soil, that's when problems start showing up, and they show up fast. Plants get pale. The growth slows down. The leaves start showing deficiencies. The lesson? Cocoa isn't a pantry full of food. Cocoa is more like Uber Eats for plants. The plant gets its meals delivered every time you water. Once you understand that, cocoa suddenly starts making a lot more sense. At least it did for me. Number 2, watering without nutrients. The second big mistake I made was watering with plain water. A lot of my habits carried over from the soil. Nutrients one watering, plain water the next. In cocoa, that can actually starve the plant because remember, cocoa isn't storing nutrients like soil does. So if you water with plain water repeatedly, you're basically flushing the root zone every single time. And suddenly the plant has nothing to eat. The lesson here for me was in cocoa, plants usually get nutrients every single feeding. That doesn't mean super strong nutrients. It just means consistent nutrition. Light, balanced feedings work way better than big, heavy ones. So keep that in mind. Number 3, underwatering cocoa. And this was huge for me. This one might be the biggest mindset shift that I had to make. Beginners are usually terrified of overwatering, but cocoa works differently. Cocoa holds water and air at the same time. So roots still get tons of oxygen even when the medium is wet. What that means is that cocoa actually prefers frequent watering. Small plants might get watered once per day, but larger plants in veg or flower can easily handle multiple feedings per day, particularly with automation. When beginners water cocoa every 2 or 3 days like soil, the medium dries out way too fast and the roots never reach their full potential. This was the problem I had. I was leaving it way too long. The lesson here for me was that healthy cocoa roots love consistent moisture and oxygen. The more stable the environment is, the faster the plants grow. Number 4, not watering to runoff. This is another mistake that can slowly cause problems over time. When feeding cocoa, typically aim for about 10 to 20% runoff. Runoff does really 2 important things. First, it prevents the salt buildup in the root zone in the pot. And secondly, it helps keep the nutrient levels stable around the roots. When growers skip runoff, salts from nutrients slowly accumulate, and eventually that buildup can cause problems like nutrient lockup. That's when nutrients are technically there, but the plant can't absorb them. The lesson for me that was massive was that runoff keeps the root zone balanced and healthy. Think of it like rinsing the system every feeding. Number 5, ignoring CalMag. This is something almost every cocoa grower learns the hard way, and I've learned this from both Chris and Rob. Cocoa has a natural tendency to bind calcium and magnesium, which means the plant can end up not getting enough, even if the nutrient contains some. And the symptoms show up pretty clearly. Little rust spots, yellowing between the veins of the leaves, weak or slow growth. Once I started adding a consistent CalMag supplement, those problems started to disappear. The lesson here for me was that calcium and magnesium are essential nutrients in cocoa. Adding them early prevents a lot of common deficiencies. Understanding that will save you problems. Number 6, ignoring pH. Soil can sometimes buffer pH mistakes. Cocoa is a lot less forgiving. The ideal range for cocoa is usually around 5.7 to 6.0. If the pH drifts too far outside that range, the plant may struggle to absorb certain nutrients. And that can lead to deficiencies even when the nutrients are present in the pot. Many beginners don't realize this and start chasing the problems with more nutrients. That was my problem. The lesson here was that checking pH regularly is one of the easiest ways to prevent problems before they start. It's one of those small habits that makes a huge difference in cocoa grows.
A huge shout out to Vivo Sun for sponsoring today's video. If you're looking for a new grow light, consider checking out the Luma Light. This light is a full spectrum LED giving you 5,000 Kelvin and 660 and 750 nanometers of spectrum. With white, blue, and red and far red, you're going to get perfect coverage in your tent. Fold it down to focus the spectrum or fold it up to increase the footprint. This light fits your space, coming in at about $259.99. You can use promo code PIGEONS420 to save a few dollars off at checkout, or Pigeons Coop if you're on Amazon.
Now, number 7, using poor quality cocoa. Not all cocoa products are the same. Cheap cocoa can sometimes come with high salt content, poor buffering, pests, or inconsistent texture. And those things can cause all kinds of issues in the root zone. I chose Pro Mix 70% cocoa, 30% perlite, and it works great. It's washed, it's buffered, and it's ready to use. The mix with perlite improves drainage and airflow. I'll leave a link to the description below to the cocoa that I'm using. The lesson I learned is that starting with good cocoa is going to save you headaches. Sometimes the medium itself is the hidden problem. Finally, and this is one that I haven't gotten into, but I totally get it. Once growers dial in cocoa, something interesting happens. They start automating their watering because cocoa performs incredibly well with multiple small feedings throughout the day. I spoke with Mark from Grow Fire Farms, and that's exactly how he gets it done. Drip systems or automatic watering setups can turn cocoa into an extremely productive growing system. Plants grow faster, roots get constant oxygen, and the environment becomes very stable. So, cocoa can feel tricky at first, but once you start to understand how it works, it becomes one of the most powerful growing mediums available. This is something I'm starting to learn. Most of the mistakes that I made really came down to one simple thing: trying to grow cocoa like soil. Once I treated it more like hydroponics, everything started clicking. And if you grow in cocoa, let me know. Drop a comment down below. What was the first mistake you made when switching from soil? And if you found this helpful, do me a favor, smoke that like button, hit subscribe, and I will check you in the next video. Peace!
Big plants start with great soil. That's why we created Stash Nutrients, an all-natural dry soil amendment developed by myself, Rob, Chris, and the great folks at Growers House. Just mix it into your media, add water, and let nature do the work. Stash Nutrients is packed with powerful mineral inputs like calcium phosphate, fish bone meal, sulfate of potash, insect frass, volcanic calcium minerals, and biochar. Head on over to stashnutrients.com and start growing great plants today.
Outside this Adams County courthouse, the sound of victory. After jury sided with the musician Afroman, whose real name is Joseph Foreman, after a days-long civil defamation trial. Afroman speaking to WCPO right after the verdict.
I didn't win. America won. America still has freedom of speech. It's still for the people, by the people.
The jury finds in favor of the defendant.
7 Adams County Sheriff's deputies sued the musician. They argued Afroman used security video from a 2022 raid of his home and put it in music videos using deputies' likeness without permission.
There's damage to reputation, there's pain and suffering, there's public humiliation. There's everything you saw and heard from these detectives from the witness stand.
This raid taking place nearly 4 years ago following search warrants related to possession and trafficking in drugs and kidnapping. The rapper was never charged. Along with using the surveillance video in multiple music videos, including in the song Lemon Pound Cake, the deputies also say Afroman called them thieves and pedophiles, among other things, on social media.
I didn't go down here and sue the police department. I fixed up the damages they made, and I sung songs about them to raise money to do it. They were unapologetic.
The deputies wanted Afroman to pay $3.9 million in damages.
We got about a total of 250 pieces given out. This is the last one, and I'd like to give it to you.
Supporters of Afroman coming from near and far with a message both verbally and symbolically.
For me, this isn't really about Afroman. It's about free speech. So when someone like Afroman stands up for my free speech by using his talents, his musical talents, to fight the corrupt system, we got to come out and support him.
I'm glad things went my way, but if they would have took it all from me, I was happy about all the love I was getting from everybody. After them people kicked my door in.
In Adams County,
when life give you lemons, you make lemon pound cake.
Jay Shakur, WCPO 9 News.
Check it out, I got a chick out of town always giving me stuff. She stayed mad as a fuck cause I don't visit enough, bruh. She called me the cuss well. I don't know what it was, but something that I does got him falling in love. And now we on the phone beefing and she crying to me. Like you be fly, you be lying to me. True, she dying to see where I was, what happened. Study your social media, she trying to catch him. Bad bitch caught him off guard with the condom off. Let her hit, now my dick feel like it falling off sperm. When I shot him off, burning like a Molotov. Word of my mama, I'm disturbed by a lot of bra. That's where the mother son, I cut her off. Maybe she make me come a lot, but it come at a cost. I got a girl I love and I lost, won't never reconcile. She played me like a pomp at a record. Yo, check it out. Yeah.
And of course, you know we got two posts to our buy me a coffee. Cannot post here, right? Let's see. Afroman wins. Shouts out to him though. Glad to hear that good news for somebody. So now let's see. I need to go get the link for this. It'll be over here though.